68 too.
How's that go?
Psalm 68 and 17. The eyes, not the eyes. Well, hold on, let me see. Psalm 68 and 17 is the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Uh, are we up too? Yeah.
I'm gonna check the sound. All right. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we get cranking up, I'm gonna give all praises to
To
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Shai,
Hawashai,
Shem
Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
honors go out to our apostles and elders, of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there, man. Shalom wa Barakim. The title of this lesson is The Chariots of the Lord. Just a lesson that the brother wanted to bring out, which the chariots are the so-called UFOs, well, as we really call them IFOs, because we, through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, have identified them. You know, they're not like that video game Destroy All Humans. You ain't got those type of guys in there. There's angels in the chariots. You know, it's not
Mm-hmm.
green or gray, big-headed ass, 3 foot tall men from Mars. That's the angels of the Lord. Which actually, if you don't mind, I actually can get this real quick.
Yeah, you good.
Jeremiah 10 and 2. Well, I'll start at 1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, because we have our own ways that we're supposed to be following as Israelites, so all statutes and commandments. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And that's one of the things that these heathen nations are dismayed at. They're confused, they're scared. They don't know if it's good or bad. They assume it's always negative, which really for them it is. But when you know those the brothers and sisters that are in this truth, when they see the chariots, it's a sign of salvation. You know, with the what is that? Romans no. Yeah, Romans 13:11 talks about
Mm.
lifting up your head because your redemption draws nigh. So when it means, you know, lift up your head, obviously stay on your feet, keep moving, you know, keep focusing on ahead. Don't get in this mopey dopey spirit. But at the same time, look up because that's literally where our salvation is going to come from. You know, Yahweh Shai is going to come back with the chariots and deliver the elect from the four
That's
corners of
the
the earth.
that's that Wisdom of Solomon 5 too, I believe.
The strangeness of their salvation.
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
go ahead and grab it for you if you want to break it down, brother.
Come on, you can.
Um, probably 1. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made
Mm.
no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond all that they looked for.
Why? Why is it a strange occurrence, a strange thing? Because nobody has ever seen this happen. You know, just like how it's also quoted, how not quoted, the children of Israel shall they say no more, the children of Israel were delivered out of the land of Egypt, but they shall say that they are delivered out of the land of the north.
Right.
Everybody's going to see when the children of Israel are being delivered out the so-called UFOs. You know, going back to the first verse, I believe it said that they stand in great boldness. That's what we're doing. We're teaching this word. We're on the highways and byways, you know, pushing this truth out. Going back hundreds of years ago, we couldn't do this, you know, and so it's going to be very strange, and it's going to be a big major eye opener when it's known that we are the Israelites. I mean, he's already known, but it's in that day it's gonna be made manifest, man. Literally, you know. And hey, it's gonna mess the people's minds up, you know, because I believe it says that it said that how is he numbered among the sons of God on down?
Yeah.
I believe it said
If
that.
you want me to read
Oh
that, yeah, I'll just
yeah,
read down a little bit.
okay.
It's Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 3. and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, then they definitely going to be hurt, because once they
Mm-hmm.
elect get beamed up, they know what that means for them. Because in the
Mm-hmm.
same, simultaneously, the nuclear destruction is going to be happening. So they see
Yeah.
them, and time might go slow as hell, because the rice scarcely be saved. The fire is starting to
Mm.
roll. It's starting to roll towards them. They see this man who they thought was just some nigga that worked at a factory shooting screws. Like, he ain't
Right.
shit, and he's getting beamed up. And now all you know, because the chariot done left, all that's left for you is death. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's gonna be that. That's probably really the beginning of that shame in
Yeah.
Daniel 12 that they're gonna have.
Yeah.
It says, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot is among the saints?
Hey, so see, I believe it says that also we're made skeptical unto men. You know, we out there teaching this word. We look there like we're nothing. We wearing bed sheets and all this crap. Hey, and it's gonna be for your destruction, basically, man, because you didn't take heed. And really, this is for you Israelites, man. Of course, the other nations, they're gonna be messed up in the head, but it's really gonna be for you Israelites, man, that despise His word, that despise ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and you're not gonna be delivered. And y'all liking the heathens anyway, so y'all gonna think like the heathens. Is that in on that out?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna get this Ezekiel 1. It says the vision of the four figures. The four figures, basically, this goes into telling you uh, a, a description of a chariot that Ezekiel's seeing, and also the angels. Yes, the angels are in the scriptures as well, and they're not no green man like how the brother was going into at the beginning of the lesson. It's Ezekiel 1, and actually I'll start at 4. It says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, not no actual so-called cloud that you see up in the sky. This is a vehicle of the Lord. I believe in the Hebrew is marakab, which means a vehicle. All right. It says, in a fire enfolded in itself, and is Salakia. And a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. So this chariot was the color of like you light something up, like how niggas be smoking cigarettes. That orange color, that's known as amber, the fiery color. So this so-called chariot, which we've seen many photos, videos of orange, fiery, glowing so-called UFOs. All right. This is what Esdras is seeing. I mean, not Esdras, Ezekiel. Let's keep reading. It says, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures. So four creatures had came out of this vehicle, this cloud. It says, and this was their appearance. So he seen them. They had the likeness of a man. All right. But they're going to shapeshift. It says, and every one had four faces. So hold on now. They got the face of a man. It's going to go into it. All right. Everyone had four faces, and everyone had four wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. So these these angels were so-called dark-skinned men. All right. And they had the feet of a calf, feet of a man, straight feet. In this verse 8, it says, and they had the hands of a man under their wings on their four sides, and they four had their faces in their wings. Their wings were joined to another. They turned and they went in Salakia. They went every one straight forward. And this is talking about the ships. All right. Oh, I believe it's talking Salakia, it's talking about the angels, Salakia. It says, verse 10, as for the likeness of their faces, they had four Salakia. They four had the face of a man, the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox. On the left side, and that also goes into Revelation 4, where it gives a description of the angels as well in Revelation 4. They four also had the face of an eagle. So these angels have four different faces. And another scripture says that they're full of eyes, front and back. That's terrifying. Y'all, Esau plays on demons and all this and that. But man, hey, the angels, the righteous angels, man, hey, that's terrifying, man. And they have all them eyes to record the wickedness that's going on within Israel and the world. The angels, the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, man. Beholding the good and the evil. Everything you do, every millisecond, all that shit is being recorded. Verse 11. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched up upward. Two wings of every one were joined one to another, and two covered their bodies. All right. It's going to continue to go into the chariots. All right. Verse 12. And they went every one straight forward, whether the spirit was to go. They went and they turned not when they went. And that's what the ships do. They don't turn. They don't sit here and turn like cars, man. And there's videos of this. We have proof. First the scriptures, then the videos. So many thousands of videos coming out daily about the ships, man. Verse 13. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and the light the appearance of lamps, and it went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was brought, and out of the fire went forth lightning. The living creatures, Salakia, damn, I got off of it. Clicked off of it. Verse 14, the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. So the angels, that's how fast they run, man. Like how lightning hits the ground, that's how fast they run. Let me get to the main point, back into the chariots real quick. I'm about to wrap this scripture up. Anyway, verse 15, now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his four wings. What's his one wheel? Let's keep reading. Verse 16, the appearance of the wheels in their work was like unto the color of a beryl. I believe beryl is green. And they four had one likeness in their. Salak, you go ahead.
No, I was saying you said you believed it was green. Beryl is green. Yeah.
Con. Okay.
Talking about
It says in the
BERYL.
appearance was. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Con. All right. It says, verse 16, the appearance of the wheels and their work was like the color of beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So like how you have many different videos, you can actually see the wheels. You see a big wheel and you see the small wheel in the middle in one. If you understand what I'm saying, that is a ship. That is a chariot, just like what Ezekiel is saying. I'm not saying seeing and writing, of course. I think it's one more. Well, it's actually a whole lot of verses, but I'm gonna cut it short. Verse 17 now, and I ended with this. It says, when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. And that's the second time or third time that he done said that. So these ships, man, they have certain characteristics that define the laws of gravity, well, physics, I meant. Hey man, so that's one chapter to prove what the angels look like, what these creatures are, who they are. They're not green, man. The scriptures are very plain and simple, in a good sense, not in a bad sense. But you got something up?
Right. Yeah. This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Probably just I'll read down to 5.
All right.
It says, then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits, which I actually looked up. I'll pull it back up. How long is a cubit? And it says a cubit, but the average length for the common cubit is 17 and a half inches.
Mm.
So, wait, where was the scripture? He said the length is 20. So let's do 20 times 17.5. It's 350 divided by 12 because 1 foot is 12 inches. That's 29.16 feet.
Mm.
And then the length, it says in the breadth thereof 10 cubits, which would be about 14 and a half feet.
Mm.
Just to give you a perspective of that. So it ain't small at all. But
Show ain't.
Zechariah, Salaki, what was that?
No, I said show ain't.
Yeah, shit. Verse 3, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For
Mm.
everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And and Elder Malcolm would always bring this out in the 4th verse, because it's definitely a curse onto these Edomites, especially the elites. They start seeing all these chariot sightings start to pop up because they tried to cover it up for so long, but now it's to the point where I think it happened last year. The government was just, we're going to just release the files on the UFOs. And you got different branches of the U.S. military saying that they see it all the time, and there's nothing they can do about it. So it's evident that it's a bad thing for them, but like we established in the beginning of this lesson, it's a beautiful thing for us. It says, verse 4, I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, which is Esau Edom. Shouldn't have to, well, for those who are new, but for those who, have been watching the videos, they know who that is. The thief, the murderer and the thief, the man of sin. It says, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. And then I got, but did you have something? Because I don't want to bring out too
Yeah,
many
I
more.
had
And just go
then
back.
where'd it go? I had that X1.
Yeah, which the chariots, they gonna play a big role in the destruction too. Them laser beams and all that. It's gonna be complete overkill. Like brothers talk
Yeah.
about, we're talking about 200 million warheads in Revelation 9. And then you got Leviathan, you got all the other plagues, different pestilence, different natural disasters. Then you're gonna have the chariot beams. This place is through. There ain't no, you can't possibly be an American citizen or somebody in the world and see America continuing on forever. No kingdom has ever continued on forever. The only one that's going to is the kingdom of heaven. And especially considering that America is the weakest of them all, men are not built like how they used to be built. The people, a lot of people in the U.S. military, especially the Army, which is the biggest branch. First of all, the U.S. military doesn't have a lot of personnel, period, as compared to like Russia and China. But then even when you look at some of the people that are in it, because we live, some of us brothers, we live next to a military base, and a lot of them are just there for the cars or the hose or the quick little check. They're not there to actually serve and fight for their country. So when the shit comes down to it, they're gonna be, this country is not built to last. It had its little run, and now it's done. You see, the Esau's best bet would be keeping Jake in slavery. That's the only way this place would have carried on longer than now. But even then, it wouldn't last forever. So this place is done, and you can see that. Ever since, like the scriptures say, like the apostle and elders always bring out, since this dude supposedly landed on the moon in 1969, and then somehow made a phone call on a landline to the moon, but I can't get phone service through a tunnel. But anyways, it's been going down since then. It's just waxing worse and worse. The division is at an all-time high. The division is probably as bad as when the Civil War happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that spark, that you got all the the firewood here, but you just don't have the spark yet. Once that spark goes, you're gonna see just how bad that division really is between races, between not Democratic parties, but political parties, everything. Religion. It's just this country is completely divided, and that's what Yahushua was saying. If a kingdom is divided, how can it stand? It's not going to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I had.
All right, so this is Acts 1. Let's see. I get to the main point. And this is dealing with Yahushua being taken up in the cloud in the chariot. All right, so this is Acts 1, and I started 6. It says this is going into his disciples. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? When has this happened? It ain't happened. They was asking him in their time period, when was this going to happen? This is his
Which it said
response.
the
Yeah.
word that it used was restore, which means again or back.
Mm-hmm.
So that, like the brother said, that hasn't happened. Last time which even when we had it back during the time of King David and Solomon, I think in total it was like 80 years.
Yeah.
And ever since King Solomon passed away and the two kingdoms, which at one point were one, is split, it's just been down ever since. It's just been going downhill. Been through captivity after captivity. We've been getting moved around like a whore,
Yeah.
into all these different countries and being abused and neglected by, these heathen nations. And now we're at the point where most of our people don't even know who the fuck they are. So it hasn't happened yet, but you can see that's where this word takes the biggest. It carries the most weight, because this word is what we're on. Essentially, the word is carrying us on its back to reunite the nation and to bring us into the kingdom of heaven, which is where that restoration is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Verse 7, it says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. And that also that goes for now too. Now we know that back in the day, back in that time period, there was in Pontus, Galatia, so forth. But also in today's time, we are in the uttermost parts of the earth, man. We're far away from Israel than ever. So-called Middle East was scattered. So that's even playing a role into today's time. Verse 9, and when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up in a cloud, received him out of their sight. So they're looking up as the Lord was going into this ship. All right. Verse 10, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. And of course, these are angels. It says, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So that's how you know the Lord's coming back. When those ships come, when those ships crack the clouds, like how it says in Revelation 19 as well, I believe, the white horse. When you come back with that ship, man, it's over. It's over for the heathens and the 2/3, and the salvation to the elect and the 1/3. Uh, and that's it all. That's all I had on that one.
I got Revelations 1 and 7. It says, behold, he is Yahweh Shai. This really connects with that. It says he
Hmm.
cometh in clouds, not talking about the flying Nimbus from Dragon Ball.
Right.
And it says, and every eye shall see him, which this is a perfect time to get that second Ezra 13, because it says, and every eye shall see him. And it goes on to say, and they also which pierced him, that shows reincarnation, which that's a whole nother lesson topic. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so Aman. And then if you want to get the second Ezra 13, unless you got something else, I got it pulled up.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can read it off.
All right. So second Ezra chapter 13. Let me just get to the point.
And also too, you ones while the brothers getting that, you ones that then served in the military, or that still serve in the military, you're going to be a part of Second Ezra 13 if you're not killed in the midst of fighting against Russia, these other countries. Guess what? They're gonna well, the Lord gonna put the spirit on you to attempt to fight against him, which is in Second Ezra 13. You go ahead, brother.
Second Ezra 13. I'll start at 5, down to 11. And it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." He's talking about Yahushua, which is talking about the valley of Yahushaphat or Jehoshaphat. It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." So if you if there was a big chunk of ground or a mountain that was taken out of the earth, you would know that it's gone. That's how big it was. But you're saying he couldn't find that because it didn't come from the earth. All right, it came from the Shemayim, I believe is the word for it. You know, the waters of the heavens. Which, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it means when it says he came out of the sea. I know in certain chapters, I think the sea is always talking about people, like the nations, but we know Yahushua is going to come from the heavens. But I'm, fact check that obviously. But where was that? Verse 8. "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight, because that spirit was put in them." Because this is the Lord's movie, and this is one of the climactic events of that movie. So it ain't just going to end like that. Yahushua pulls up and everybody just runs away. There's no excitement in that. You got to see a battle. You got to see them shoot back, and the bullets and all of these things that they try to do ain't going to do shit, and then they just get destroyed. It says, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire," this is the chariot beam, "and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." So you had all these, he said innumerable. You had all these different, because if I'm not mistaken, they battling, which I think the Valley of Yehoshaphat is like east of Jerusalem. Well, no, it's the Persian Gulf. I'm thinking about something. I was thinking about a different landmark. It's in the Persian Gulf. That's where the Valley of Yehoshaphat is. He's like, you're gonna have all these nations gathered fighting, ground, air battles. But then when he comes, obviously they gonna know that he's a common threat. Like basically, we can fight each other later, because if we don't take this guy down, then there ain't gonna be nothing for us to fight over. Because we just gonna be subdued. So they end up. Where were you, Salaki?
Ronald Reagan, he had said that, we're fighting amongst each other. Should we not come together if an alien force came to Earth or something like that? And that's that. And you got the space forces.
Yeah. So they're gonna all turn to fight him, and they just gonna be utterly destroyed. And then when it talks about the war in heaven, that's the Esau trying to use his different jet planes and all his different technology to fight the Lord and the chariots, and he's just not gonna win. This is the one battle that Esau Edom is definitely not gonna win. He may have came out on top, or shit. He didn't win Vietnam, but it's crazy how nobody talks about that. That shows the pride of Esau Edom. Because he talks about World War II. He talks about even some of these modern wars he didn't really win.
Afghanistan.
But people yet want to puff up America like it's just unstoppable force. They got their ass whooped in Vietnam. And that's why they ended up basically surrendering. And that was a war that they put themselves into through a false flag attack. So Esau is not God. A lot of our people try to put this nigga up like he's actually worth a damn. This nigga's trash. Like literally, he's not gonna win this fight. Everybody that puts their trust in Esau Edom, when they see this battle and they get utterly destroyed, they're gonna know who that true power is, man. How about Shemal Bashai? Ain't gonna be nobody else that's coming close to that. There never has been, and there never will be. And a damn sure ain't gonna be the wild man, the man that didn't even know how to take a bath at one point. But that was all I had on the second Israel 13.
That's all I got too for right now.
But then I got this, if you want to close.
All right.
Isaiah 26:20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. And this is talking about the elect getting beamed up. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed, which that indignation is the nuclear destruction. So the elect, and that just goes, shows the flip side. The chariots are going to be destroying, but they're also going to be delivering the elect. And they're going to deliver the elect from that nuclear desolation. So that was all I had.
That's all I got out.
Okay, come. Well, Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying to the elect. Before we close, giving all praise to Yahweh by Shemal Bashai. Double honors go out to the apostles, elders, great millstone, rule and teach well. Shalom, more barakim to you, brothers and sisters, man. Shalom.
Shalom.